Hey guys, I'm back today reviewing a DIY installation video from the Home Depot. So this was posted back in 2008, has 3.7 million views. So let's take a look.
The next time you're remodeling or sprucing up a bathroom in your home, consider replacing your old toilet along with the other fixtures. It's easier than you think. There's bound to be one that'll fit your new look. Now, before you go shopping, you need to measure the distance from the wall to the floor bolts.
Yep, that's what you need to do.
If it measures 12 inches, you're in luck.
So there's either going to be a 12-inch rough-in or a 10. If you have more than 12 inches, you got to use a 12, and it'll just sit off the wall a little bit further.
You have a standard toilet. Sometimes, especially in older homes, this varies, so know before you go. Once you've made your decision and brought your new toilet home, it's time to remove the existing one. First things first, you want to turn the water off at the supply valve.
Now, if the water doesn't shut off, you'll find out when you empty the tank and bowl. If it doesn't shut off, the valve needs to be replaced, or you need to install a retro valve downstream to isolate the water.
And flush the toilet to empty the tank. Now remove any water left in the tank or bowl with a sponge and some rags. And be sure to wear some rubber gloves to protect against bacteria.
Just use a wet dry vac, come on.
Once the toilet's dry, remove the tank bolts and disconnect the water supply line.
You can do it this way, but any plumber that would come to your home would assemble it away from the wall and then place the toilet. It's a little bit heavier, but like, why make the second step? There's almost no point.
Now straddle the bowl.
Now when you take off that water line on the bottom, you want some paper towel under it just to keep the water from going everywhere and potentially damaging the customer's home.
And lift the tank up off the bowl. And be sure you lift with your legs. These things can be pretty heavy. With the tank removed, it's time to work on the bowl. Remove the decorative caps that cover the floor bolts. And use.
Okay, so these floor caps, they're missing a piece here, so they just kind of lifted them off, but there's a plastic disc that should be underneath, and it's not there.
Use a socket or adjustable wrench to remove the nuts.
You could just use channel locks for sure.
Once the bolts are off, rock the bowl back and forth until the wax seal underneath is broken, and lift the bowl up off the floor.
Whoa.
Scrape away.
Okay, let's back that up just a second here. So I'm pretty sure he just put the customer's toilet right on the tile floor. You're gonna put wax on it, potentially other nasty things, germs and bacteria, like use a drop cloth or use a garbage bag, but do not damage the customer's home.
Rock the bowl back and forth until the wax seal underneath is broken.
Back to it.
And lift the bowl up off the floor. Scrape away any remaining wax with the putty knife and plug up the drain opening with the rag so you don't have sewer gases wafting up into your home.
Yeah, just don't forget that rag in there.
Okay, now for the new toilet. You may want to start by replacing the existing flange around the drain opening, or at least replace the mounting bolts. Then fit a new wax ring around the hole in the base of the toilet.
I know this is just preference, but I'll always put the wax ring on the flange on the floor and then place the toilet on top of that.
Now for the tricky part. Lift the bowl up and line the toilet up over the anchor bolts.
Part.
Once the bolts are fed through the holes, rock the bowl back and forth to seat the wax ring and then hand tighten the nuts.
Yep.
Insert shims where needed to make the bowl level.
Whoa, okay, I just saw him use wooden shims. Never use wooden shims. Mold, rot, they're eventually, just going to become a problem. So don't use wooden shims in a place where there's water.
And then tighten the bolts up with an adjustable wrench.
So he's missing the plastic disc for the decorative cap.
To the other. And be sure you don't over tighten and crack your new bolt.
Make sure you don't over tighten.
Cover the bolts with the supplied caps.
Yeah. So they avoided the fact that these bolts here need to be cut down to fit the cap.
Cover the bolts with the supplied caps and place the tank on
So
the
you
bowl.
need to do that with a hacksaw.
Guide the tank bolts into the corresponding holes. Tighten the bolts, but don't over tighten, and install the toilet valve assembly. Reconnect the water supply, caulk around the base.
Whoa, okay, so before you caulk around the base, anything like that, you need to fill the toilet full of water and flush it a whole bunch of times and make sure you have no leaks. If you got leaks, you got to pull the toilet and reset it, and you wouldn't want to do that with a bunch of messy caulk all over the place.
And you're all set. So, the next time you take on a bathroom makeover, consider including a new toilet on your shopping list.
Okay, this wasn't a bad video, but obviously it wasn't the best video. This guy would have caused property damage to the customer's home. He could have potentially installed a leaking toilet without checking to make sure that it wasn't leaking. And all in all, I just wouldn't really recommend installing it in this fashion, but if you're a DIY home guy, you could probably figure out how to do it and it would be just fine. Anyways, I'll see you guys next week. Have a good one.